Hi guys, Annette here. I have a quick project pantry video for you today. This project pantry video is coming from the Dollar Tree today. I do have one thing that I've bought previously at the Dollar Tree, and I just brought it out as an example, but everything else I got just recently from two different Dollar Trees though, actually, because there's two in my area. As you kind of know from my last project pantry video, my focus isn't necessarily food related at this time. I have a lot of food stocked. I home can often. I hashtagged a picture. I got a flat of strawberries for $1.49. I got two of those, so two flats of strawberries for $3. So lots of strawberry jam. I'll be canning up some ham, and if corned beef goes on sale, I will be canning that as well. So my next project pantry video may be on canning, but this one is also focusing on non-perishable household type items. The cold and flu season is kind of winding down. I mean, it's still cold and flu season, but not for too much longer, just another month or two. But you can always get, a summer cold or allergies or what have you. So these are some cold and flu season type items that I like to get at the Dollar Tree. So this is the thing that I did not get this trip. It's the Neti Pot. It is a plastic neti pot. If you don't know what a neti pot is, it is a nasal flush. It flushes your sinuses. You basically use this little pot to pour the solution in one nostril. It goes through your sinuses and comes out the other nostril. Neti pots can be kind of expensive for what they are. And this one, I'm not sharing it with anybody else, so I don't mind that it's plastic. Some people say you can't really disinfect plastic. I think that it's fine, especially if you wipe it down with a disinfectant. Also, like I said, it's just for me. Being only $1, you can get one for each family member and write their name on it. It is really, really good if you have, or if you're prone to sinus infections. I was for a long time. My mom is. And when I started to use Neti Pot or some kind of saline flush, I have not actually had a sinus infection since, and have not needed antibiotics for it. And my last sinus infection, when my doctor told me to start using something like this, was in 2006, actually, right before I went on my mission to Russia. So, this is a great one. I used to use a baby ball syringe, like the ones that you use to suck their boogers out. You can use that as well, because it's just a cheap alternative. But this, at being only $1, is really great. And I picked this up, I don't know, I think last year. They've had these at my Dollar Trees for the last couple of years during cold and flu season. And I do have a recipe from my doctor to make up my own solution out of salt and baking soda. And then you should use distilled water, because you want to make sure there's nothing, no bacteria, no microbes or anything in the water, because it is going into your sinuses, which is close to your brain, and you don't want anything getting in there. So it is best to use distilled water when using a neti pot. I like to do mine in the shower because it can be a little bit messy. Some people just do it over the sink, but that's another reason why I love that this is plastic, because I have no fears of dropping it in the shower. And it's a great natural solution, especially from the Dollar Tree for $1. So that's the pot that I previously got. Then on one of these recent trips, I got the solution. There's 10 packets in here. The thing I like about this is that it takes the guesswork out of how much baking soda and how much salt you need to how much water. And there's 10 packets in here for $1, which I think is pretty inexpensive. Granted, it's just salt and baking soda, so it's much cheaper to just buy bulk salt and baking soda. But sometimes when you're not feeling good or you have a cold, you don't want to dig out the baking soda and the salt and the, measuring teaspoon or whatever. I guess you could make up your own pre-made packets as well. But I just decided to buy 3 boxes. So there are 30 packets here altogether, 10 packets for $1. And so I'm just going to stick that with the Neti Pot and have them for whenever I need those. Alright guys, so the next thing that I got are these sugar-free cough drops. They're the Assured brand. That's the brand that the Dollar Tree carries for most of their vitamins, medications, first aid type supplies. They're this Assured brand. I have not had a problem using any of these products. I feel like they work just as well as any name brand would. I actually prefer these cough drops over Halls, and I'll tell you why. It's not an extremely pleasant reason, so be forewarned. Having sugar-free, a lot of the sugar-free cough drops, like the name brand ones, are made with sugar alcohols. Those really upset my stomach, and they actually make me extremely horribly gassy. Like I said, not pleasant. My body just does not tolerate the sugar alcohols that they use, and it's fairly common side effect of consuming sugar alcohols. Your body can't digest it, and it causes digestive upset. So these are made with aspartame. I know a lot of people, poison, whatever. I am diabetic, so I choose to use sugar-free ones. I don't use cough drops all the time. But when I do need them and I have a sore throat or I'm not feeling well, these ones do not make my stomach hurt. So I'm going to go with the ones that don't bother my stomach at all. And there are 25 cough drops in each bag for $1. And they taste exactly the same as the Halls honey lemon ones do. And then some actual medication, which I don't use very often. I do use pain relievers at times. Ibuprofen and naproxen are my preferred pain relievers. They're both NSAIDs. Tylenol doesn't work for me. It never has. Even when I was a kid, it does not do a thing. It is like taking nothing. When I was a kid, it wouldn't bring down my fever. It doesn't give me any kind of pain relief. So I choose not to use it. And a lot of the combined cold medications have Tylenol in it. The generic Tylenol, which is, I can't remember how you say it. So I choose to get all of my medications separate, and I actually like that better because then I can choose what I need. So if I don't feel like my nose is very stuffy, but I have a cough, I can just take the cough relief. If I feel like my nose is stuffy, but I don't have a cough, I'll just take the nasal decongestant. If I have both, I can take both, because these are the exact same medications that are in the combined like daytime cold medicine. It's this cough suppressant right here, and it's this nasal decongestant right here, and Tylenol. And like I said, I don't prefer Tylenol, so I will get ibuprofen separate and take ibuprofen if I feel like I need some pain relief with my cold medicine. A lot of times they have the Tylenol and the ibuprofen in there, or ibuprofen in there, not only for pain relief, but also for if you have some kind of fever. So I got a box of those each to have separately. I actually, these are, you can kind of see, they're kind of open already. This one is actually going to go in my purse. I have a big bottle at home that I use to stock in the pantry. My pantry is a working pantry as well. I know some of the people doing Project Pantry, everything's getting set aside for a year. That's not how my pantry works. If I need to use it, I'm going to use it, and then I can get some more. I don't really have strictly long term. I have some stuff that will last a long time, like rice and beans, and they are put in airtight containers, so they'll last for a long time, but it is still a rotating working pantry. So those are the medications that I got for my little cold and flu haul. And like I said, I usually just grab a little bottle to keep in my purse, but if you don't use it very often, this is a great size to have on hand too. There's 40 in there for $1, which is actually quite a good deal. And everything has a great date on it. That was the other thing I was going to show you. So, blurry. there you go. So that doesn't expire till 5/20. What's this one? 4/19. And what's that one? 11/19. And those are, you know, they're sort of best by dates actually as well, because if you do your own research, you'll find that a lot of medication is actually good for up to like 20 years after that like use by date. The military actually did a study, and it wasn't supposed to get leaked to the general public, and it did, about potency of most medications. There are some medications, like especially ones that need to be refrigerated, like insulin and antibiotics, that do not have a long shelf life. But most pills like this have a very, very long shelf life and lose very little potency. It may lose some, but it's very little. Another thing that I love to get at Dollar Tree, which they only have the foot soak ones, which is fine. They have a muscle and back soak as well. They're both Epsom salt. The difference is the muscle and back one smells like eucalyptus, and the foot soak one is spearmint and menthol, which they're both great if you have a cold. I add a little extra eucalyptus oil to my bath, like from an essential oil, just to make it really strong. But these scented Epsom salts are a very nice quality, and they're very nice in the bath. The reason why Epsom salt makes you feel better is it has magnesium in it, and it is absorbed well through your skin, and magnesium helps with muscle pain. And it can help, like if you have a sprain or your muscles are sore from working them, Epsom salt is really great. So in, a situation where you're having to maybe work a little bit harder than normal, having an Epsom salt soak at the end of the day would probably make you feel much better. It's one of the natural things that I like to do. I like to take a bath often, but especially when I have a cold, I'll take one sometimes in the morning and at night. Water as hot as I can stand it for the steam. And Epsom salt definitely in the bath. I get about 3 baths out of one of these 1 pound bags. That seems like a good amount in the bath for me. So, 33 cents basically for a bath. I don't think it's a bad deal. And I've price compared them to other scented Epsom salts, like at Walmart and places like that. And it is cheaper actually to just get these little 1 pound bags at the Dollar Tree. At least in my area. It may be different in your area. If you got unscented Epsom salt, you can get it in bigger quantities for cheaper than the 1 pound for $1. But these scented ones are pretty nice from Dollar Tree. And then the last thing I'm going to show you guys is not cold and flu related, but the gardening season is coming up and Dollar Tree sells seeds. They sell this, American Seed Company seeds. I've used them before. They come up really well. I could only find one video on YouTube that compared seeds like from the like Burpee or some seeds like that from like the Lowe's or Home Depot or somewhere like that, or a garden supply store, compared to these ones. And in his video, they were pretty on par. It probably depends on your area and how you garden and all of that. And there are less seeds in here than there would be in a big package. But if you compare like how many you can get for the same price, then I think it's comparable actually, maybe even better. So I got 4 of these Blue Lake pole beans. They're heirloom. They're an heirloom variety. These are our favorite green beans. They can wonderfully. And we prefer pole type. They seem to yield better in our garden. We have done Kentucky Wonders in the past as well, but the Blue Lake seem to do really, really well for us. So I was excited that Dollar Tree had these because I don't think last year they did, or I just didn't get them early enough. I got some bush beans last year from Dollar Tree, and the bush beans in general just don't do as well for us. I don't think that it was necessarily the seeds. I think it's that the pole beans just do a lot better in our garden. So I got those, and so I'll either use these in the big garden at my parents' house, or I'll put some in pots with a trellis on my back patio, because I've done that before, just to have some at my house. If I see more of these, I actually may get more, because these 4 together probably equal 1 seed packet from the store. And my brother works at Coastal Farm and Ranch, and we went in the other day, and a packet of garden beans is probably like $2.99. So I could get 12. I could literally get 12 packages from the Dollar Tree for the same price as one package from Coastal, and I'm almost positive that 12 packages of these would definitely be more than the one package that you get from Coastal. And the thing about these is that sometimes, especially if you're doing container gardening, you don't need that many seeds. And really, unless you store them properly, seeds germinate less and less every year that you keep them. So these ones are, if you look, they are for this season. Just so you can see that on there. It's hard to kind of tell, but they are packaged for this season. And they are every year. Dollar Tree gets these every year. They tend to sell out quick, so you have to check on them quickly. I did get one of the Cherokee yellow wax beans, and they are bush. I've actually never seen pole yellow wax beans. So if you guys have and you've bought them before, let me know the variety so I can look them up. Maybe I can get some. But I'm going to put those on in a pot, probably on my back patio. Same thing with the sugar snap peas, also an heirloom variety, which is cool. That means, by the way, heirloom variety means that it's an original. It hasn't been genetically modified, and it hasn't been hybridized. So you can save the seeds from heirloom variety seeds, which if you are worried about some kind of situation happening or something like that, being able to save your own seed is important. So it's good to look up heirloom varieties if you plan on saving seeds. And I've done these in the past. One package does quite a few plants, and perfect amount for my family. I think the most we've ever done is 2. I may look for some snow peas, because I love those for stir fry. I would love to munch on these raw, and then the snow peas in stir fry. And they have had snow peas in the past before too, so I will keep an eye out for those. I got 1 package of cabbage. I have never grown cabbage before. We have a lot of slugs in our area. But I think I'm going to give it a try just to see. I mean, for 25 cents, how can you not try, right? I got I got a thing of lettuce. It's a romaine type lettuce. It's also an heirloom variety. I got 2 packages of cauliflower. I got 1 package of broccoli. And I got 3 different varieties of carrots. One is an heirloom. So if you wanted to save the seeds from this one, you could. And then I just got 3 different varieties, because carrots are something that we've been trying in our garden. And yes, carrots are extremely cheap. But when you can get seed packets for so cheap, I think it's just fun to try things in your garden. Especially when your life doesn't depend on it. Our lives do not depend on this garden right now. So it's always great every year to try some different things and see what you can do. I actually just pulled out some beets and a few carrots that had overwintered in the garden. We live in the Pacific Northwest, so the weather is fairly mild here. I mean, we have some freezing temperatures, but the ground doesn't really like freeze solid here for very long periods of time. So yeah, I just went out to our little raised beds the other day, and I pulled out some beets and some carrots, and we had some leftovers of some other vegetables, and I actually made like a borscht style soup for my niece and I. And it was so funny to pull, something fresh out of the garden in February in Washington.